We welcome you to the Steve Coach Cady Arena at the Gogget Ice Center on a Friday night on the campus of Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. College hockey on Red Hawk Radio this evening as the Western Michigan Broncos are in Oxford to take on the RedHawks from Miami. Patrick Geshan with you here for the call. This is game one of the two-game series between these two former CCHA rivals. Western Michigan comes in pretty hot, one of the top offensive teams in the nation. And they're coming off a sweep of RPI last weekend back at Lawson Ice Arena. 2 wins for the Broncos, an 8-4 win on Friday, a 6-2 win on Saturday. Looking to continue the success from the non-conference series last weekend for Miami. It was a sweep at St. Cloud State 2 weekends ago. 4-2 loss Friday, 3-0 loss Saturday. They look to bounce back tonight on their home ice for the first time in 3 weeks. We'll have our puck drop coming up in just a moment in game one of this series. But first, our starting lineups and national anthem. Here's public address announcer Scott Shriver.
Miami RedHawks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Broncos. Starting in goal tonight, wearing number 3, Brandon Bussey. Starting in defense, number 28, Cam Lee. And right defense, number 4, Luke Lafayette. Starting at that way, it's number 9, Dawson DePietro. Starting at center tonight, number 22, Austin Grushoff. And at the right wing, number 17, Wayne Adelson. And the rest of the Broncos. Western Michigan's coach by assistant head coaches Pat Hirschberg and Dave Shine. Head coach of the Broncos is Andy Murray. The officials are assigned for this evening's game at the National Collegiate Hockey Conference. The referees tonight, Gino Binda and Jim Sullivan. The linesmen, Pat Richardson and Eric Frank. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the regrets and join the playing of our national anthem by members of the Miami Symphony Orchestra.
Miami Symphony Orchestra with our starting lineup tonight here for the Goggen Ice Center in Oxford ahead of Game 1 of this two-game set between the Miami RedHawks and the Western Michigan Broncos. Starting goaltenders for tonight in Game 1 of this series, Western Michigan elects to go with the freshman, number 30, Brandon Boosie, the 6'4", 215 freshman goaltender out of Sound Beach, New York, played his USHL hockey up in Muskegon with the Lumberjacks. 27 games played this season, 2.74 goals against average, 907 save percentage, 14-10-3. Coming into the game is Brandon Boosie. For Miami, it's the senior goaltender Ryan Larkin, number 31 for the RedHawks. This season making his 17th start, 5-10-1 record, 3.64 goals against average, and an .897 save percentage. Western Michigan is in their road black uniforms. It says Western Michigan on the front in a tan color, white names on the back, and tan numbers on the back as well. The primarily black jersey with black socks. RedHawks are in their home white uniforms. The red M on the front, red numbers, red names are on the back. Our referees tonight come your way from the NCHC, Gino Binda, Joe Sullivan, the linesman Pat Richardson, and Eric Frank. Redhawks move right to left across your radio here in period number 1. As this is the second to last home series for Miami this season. The only other time they'll be at home for a two-game set this year is going to be against Omaha, February 28th and 29th. Casey Gilling, Austin Rushoff square off at center ice for the draw. And it's won back by Gilling, and the Rugs have the puck here in the early going, although Jack Clement plays it up the right wing for Gordy Green and behind the Western Michigan net to get things started here tonight. Puck back to neutral ice, Green along the near wing, played it deep into the Western Michigan zone. Broncos work it back to center, and Dashke fires it in from the red line on the left side. It's stopped by Lee on the far wing. That's Cam Lee, the senior defenseman out of Nova Scotia. Ferguson's Cove is the town. And Western Michigan a little rush the other way over the line, left wing, and a centering pass across. Wade Allison, it was out of his reach, right in front of Larkin. Could have had an open opportunity. Bonnie Grant for Green, left point, behind the offensive zone. It's loose in front after a shot, and Nyes swatted it to the near corner, trying to go on net. Lead far side, Western Michigan, out of the zone on the left wing. It's on the line to the right side. Rushoff, near circle for Gallant, the centering feed, picked off by Russell, although Rushoff gets it back in the far circle. Working his way behind the Miami net where Crowder chases a loose puck to the near corner. Kingston in there battling as well, stopping Crowder's progress of the near boards. They work it back behind the net to the far side. Green for Russell. Pass near wing. Here's Crowder. And he'll get it back to center ice as Nyes there was met by Attard, who plays this one back into the offensive zone. McGing high slot. He fires a shot and scores. Got a pass from the near circle by Cole Gallant. And a centering feed over to Hugh McGing, the Western Michigan captain and a Hobie Baker nominee for this season. Puts the Broncos up 1-0 with just 18:39 left in the first period. Well, I don't think I have to say it's not the start Miami wanted, but just a simple rush for Western Michigan. A shot that beat Larkin over the blocker side. It was pretty low to the ice, but in midair. This Broncos team that moves the puck very well. They're 7th in the nation at scoring offense with 3.5 goals per game this season. And have scored 5 or more goals in the past 5 games. Broncos here are already up 1-0, less than 2 minutes in. Washy over the line on the right wing for Western Michigan. They are offside, they got to tag up as Miami gets the puck back in the defensive zone. They try to stretch it though up the ice. Sladek was waiting in the center circle, but the pass from Capstick went past his stick and all the way down for a Miami icing call. So 18:08 left here in period number 1, a 1-0 Western Michigan lead. The Broncos just have one shot on net tonight. Hugh McGing this with a goal tonight, his 8th of the season, the assist by Cole Gallant. They just gave 1 assist on the goal. Western Michigan had an offensive zone draw. They worked it up the near boards, and RedHawks there will try to engage in a battle. Near circle Passel. This shot went off the pad of Larkin. Western Michigan, though, keeps it in left point. The rebound went all the way out there. Bennett will play it behind the net. Capstick for Barry near wing. Circles back to his own end. Fires it up through center ice. Pass Mahalik, and this will be no icing as Savage beat Passel for the puck. Back to the near wing, it's Mose. Circle back around behind the Western Michigan net. The puck goes. Johnson picks it up there, fresh off the bench for the RedHawks. He's going against Matt Joyo for Western Michigan. Michael Joyo, excuse me, who used to play at Miami his freshman year, then transferred up to Kalamazoo. Johnson along the near post, the centering feed, all the way past the left point of Dashke as it went through the slot, and Dashke couldn't catch it along the near wing. Dashke plays it back to the Western Michigan end. Johnson, near circle, left point Dashke. Wraps it around behind the Bronco net to the far side for Green. Far half wall, wraps it back around to the near wing. Left point Dashke with a puck for the RedHawks. Around to the far wing. Corbett picks it up far hash marks along the boards, but it was stripped away from him by DiPietro, and they work it back to center. Leon rush back the other way over the line on the left wing for Western Michigan. We'll play this one behind the net. Bafia comes in there to mess with Corbett, who had the puck along the near wing. Then Gilling centers it across his own zone to Clement far side, but he's trying to return back to the left wing, and Western Michigan picks that off. Green back in his own end. The pass for Clement. Far corner Gilling. And a strong forecheck here by Western Michigan. DiPietro able to kind of break up the play, but the Reds able to work it out up the left wing. Clement will fire this one deep behind the Western Michigan net. Out to play it is Busey. Back to the near wing. As Graham lays a hit on Gallant, carrying up the right wing neutral ice. Loud picks up the loose biscuit. They work it to the near circle of the offensive zone. Nice left point Russell. Big shot, big rebound, but it's played by Kingston in the far circle. He'll get it out for the Broncos. Cross-ice feed for McGing. He missed along near boards. Russell trying to play it around behind his own net. And Bray Crowder, who was standing in front of the Miami net, went behind the net to play it. But when he did so, he knocked the net off. Caught the right post and knocked it off the moorings. So the face-off will come to the right of Larkin with 15:55 to go in the first. As the Rocks have had some offensive zone time so far. Shots are even at one apiece, but nothing lead for Western Michigan. They're going by Hugh McGing. 8th tally of the year for the St. Louis Blues draft pick in the year 2018. Rocks work it out of their own end after the face-off. Nice. Chips it over the Bronco line left wing. And it goes behind the net, played by Attard. Slowly messed by Ben Loud. Attard able to work it up the left wing. Pass picked up by Barry, fresh off the bench. Backhand feed for Loud far circle. Fan on the shot. Barry came back to the near wing for a little wrister right to the breadbasket of Pussy, who cleans it up, and Broncos work it back to center. Capstick far corner of his own end for Miami. Works it up the far boards for Mahalik. He was hit off that time by a Western Michigan player down there, and that was Paul Washy. And the Reds back the other way through neutral ice. Bachman over the Bronco line right away. It's the high slot, and it was poked away from him off the stick of Passul. And all the way back to the Miami end. No icing, though. 5 minutes into this first period. Mahalik out of his own end. It's poked back in by Karch Bachman. Mahalik, the centering feed over the capstick far circle. Near wing pass, it's picked up by Joyo, looking for Bachman, and Western will set up in the offensive zone. Mahalik near corner, can't get it out. It was centered in front by Western Michigan. Warad got there, and back to the near wing. Warad has it in the corner. No centering pass, and instead went behind the net, pinching in there for Western Michigan, Kucherek. Mahalik works behind the net on Passul. Gets it to the left point. Kucherek comes in for a shot right to the shin pads of Sladek. 2-on-2 the other way. He's got Bachman. Sladek right circle with a wrist shot over the net. Pussy didn't even have to move on that one. Sladek behind the cage, out of the reach of Bachman to the far side for Johnson, who's pushed off the puck by Michael Joyo, and Kucherek wraps it behind the Western Michigan net. Cross to the far side, controlled here by the Broncos. It was Joyo, the long feed ahead up the right wing. Allison beat out the icing, and pass was intended for him, but he missed it at center ice and was able to win the race. Back the other way, beating Brian Savage. Lee, over the line left side. It's poked into the zone by Rushoff. Top of the far circle, Allison. Just the far half wall, pitched off there by Dashke. Johnson collides bodies there with Rushoff. And it's up the boards on the far side. Rushoff, far circle, comes away with the puck. Centering feed for Bafia, trailing down the right wing, broken up by a stick. Rushoff gets it back near circle, but can't get a shot off as Johnson stick checked him before he was going to fire the puck. Here's Clement behind the Miami net, works it up through the far corner. The pass for Pletzky near wing. Chase Pletzky's first touch of the game. And Clement works it back to center, indirect off the far boards for Ryan Savage. Freshman takes over here through the center circle. Will chip it to the near corner of the offensive zone. Savage behind the net, crashes in with Bafia to get the puck. Gilling came in to join the battle as well. All three players fell down. Western back to the way of McGing. Up the wing, here's Allison over the line left side. Little backhand shot. And Larkin, who's trying to fight off Allison, cutting through the crease. Able to make this save with his pads. Corbett for Miami, one-on-one the other way with McGing, Hugh McGing. As Corbett will be pushed to the near boards and hit hard. Way off the puck. Western works it back behind the net. Kingston up the left wing for Gallant at center. Went off his skate, right to the stick of Gordy Green. Western in a change. Green over the Bronco line left wing. Reaches the near circle, pushed to the corner that time by the defenseman Ronnie Attard. Back to the left point. Russell, a shot. What a wrister. That time off his left-handed stick, right to the Brett basket of Bussi, who makes the save for our first media timeout of the game. 12:23 to go in the first period. Western Michigan, the 1-0 lead on the goal by Hugh McGing, and that's where we stand so far in Oxford. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Patrick Geshan back with you here in Oxford on Red Hawk Radio. A 1-0 lead for Western Michigan with 12:23 to go here in the first period. Glad you're with us on Red Hawk Radio today. Face off to the right of Brandon Pusey out of Sound Beach, New York in the Miami offensive zone. Monty Graham looking to square off in it with Paul Washy. And Washy, 2 stick checks on Graham before they drop the puck. We'll call for a Washy ejection from the draw. But it's still won by the substitute player who came in to take it, Lawton Courtnall. Western works it behind the Miami net in their offensive zone. Far boards Crowder, can't chip it out off the high glass. Regains control of the block puck and is able to do it on the second opportunity as chasing it back in his own end. Warat works it up the near wing to center ice. Washy, near wing, right in front of the penalty box. Gave it off for Matthias Samuelson, who plays it back behind the Red Hawk net. Larkin for Crowder near wing. Backhand play up the near boards for Russell, pretty much unopposed. Flips it back to center with a 9-iron. Is allowed the first to get it for the Redhawks. Samuelson behind the Bronco net took control of the puck first though. And he'll skate it back to center. Dancing around defenders. The pass up the right wing for Frank. It went to the stick of Capstick, who played it all the way back behind the Bronco net from his own end. No icing call. It's Ronnie Adder. Far side of pass picked off by Barry, who was able to get a shot off on Busey. Now left point Capstick. Plays it back to the near circle. Sladek let it slide past him. Samuelson to the right point. And it's played here by Mahalik. As Samuelson couldn't clear it. Gets it behind the net for Barry. Barry tried to go up for a lacrosse style goal. Never really formulated. Instead he centered it to Sladek, who came through. But a shot there right on the pads of Busey in front of the net. Capstick near circle. The play up through center ice. Off of Bachman's leg left wing. Will trickle behind the Western net. Our circle, played here off a pass. Passel will chip it past the Miami player. In front of the Western Michigan bench is taken over by Clement. The pass to the near wing. And Mose will get to it in the near corner of the offensive zone for the Redhawks. Mose dancing there with Lee. Gets it to the near corner. Up the near board. Savage cross ice pass right to the stick of DiPietro. He's back the other way. DiPietro 1 against 1 with Clement. And stick check to the far side. Wade Allison with a puck for Western left point. Leaves it there for Lee. Lee with a toe drag move on Savage, but the lost control of the puck, and Dashke will play it back to center ice. Smos over the line of the left wing, top of the near circle, looking for a wrist shot there on Bafia, but it was stick checked the near wing, and a 3-4-on-2 back the way for Western. Allison to Rushoff, a one-touch pass for Lee, taking near circle, Allison. Little centering feed to the far circle, Rushoff grabs it back for Allison right point, and a wrist shot from him. Right to the glove of Ryan Larkin as Western Michigan. And basically a 4-on-2 the other way, trying to be a little bit too fancy and lost control of the puck. Until they got it to the right point, and Rushoff's shot right to the glove of Ryan Larkin. 4-3, Miami leads the shots, but they're down 1-0. McGing squares off to the left of Larkin with Casey Gilling. It's one back to break Crowder for Green, who chips it to the middle of the ice and all the way down for Bennett. Bennett off the boards near side. Gallant can't keep control at center ice. Green to the near corner for Gilling. Casey Gilling circles off the puck. Feet to the right point, way past Crowder, back to center ice. Crowder in his zone end, chips it near wing for Gilling, who catches the pass center ice. Backhand feed to the near wing, Russell for Gallant, can't keep control. Western Michigan works it back the other way. Cale Bennett to center. It was kicked though on a pass too far ahead by Crowder. Green gets it back on the left wing. We'll play it back behind the Bronco net. Joyo wraps it around the boards far side for Kingston. He kicked it back to center ice. Mahalik first to it, but his dumping attempt picked off by Bennett. And then Bennett tried to feed ahead. It was picked off again by Mahalik. Rocks to the offensive zone. Top of the near circle. Nice. Got a feed for Green on the rush. And a wrist shot right into the glove of Bussi, who makes the stop with 9:12 to go in the first. Rocks lead the shots 5-3, but Western the 1-0 lead in Oxford. It's Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .12 to go here in the first period from Oxford. Patrick Geshan back with you on Red Hawk Radio. A 1-0 lead for Western Michigan. And game one of this two-game set from Goggin Ice Center this evening here in Oxford. Monty Graham in the draw will square off with Ruchoff, and it's a clean win for Western Michigan, who quickly works it back to the way. Cornell over the line on the right wing. It's the breaks top of the near circle, plays it back to the middle of the ice, where Loud picks it off for the RedHawks and works it back to center. Puck trickles to the far wing. Nice. Played it over the line on the right wing, and Monty Graham chases the puck far corner of the offensive zone. The wrap around the boards to the near side. Kapzik plays it in left point, back behind the Western net. Loud with Samuelson, wrapped around to the far side. Mahalik right point, trying to stick check it through, but Bachman came in for support, trying to get it deeper, and Will back behind the Western net. Bussi the wrap around the high glass to the near wing, kept in left point by Mahalik for a second, and trickles back to center, where Barry grabs it for the RedHawks. And a backhand feed for Dashke near wing, who will work it to Bachman, and he's up through the center circle for the RedHawks. Bachman over the Western line left wing, reaches the near corner, back behind the net to the far side. Meets a right point, Clement, with the cross-ice feed to Dashke, looking left point, but it came out of the zone. A simple look up that time would have kept the puck in. Rex regroup at center. Bachman back for Barry left point. The cross-ice feed for Sladek, who couldn't stick check it down. Far corner, Bachman grabs the puck. He's hit so hard that he falls over by Lee. Far circle, here's Sladek. Lost control, back to the right point, Clement. Floater toward the net, off the leg of Lee. We'll get it to Bafia, and now to the near circle, Passul. Although Barry came from behind to knock the puck free. And here's Warad, who will play it back for Bafia, near circle for Western Michigan. The pass up through center ice, tipped in by Passul, right on net from the center circle as he opened his stick blade up. They got the puck to deflect right into the glove of Ryan Larkin, who will stop play as Western immediately came into the zone with 7:34 to go here in the first. Face-off comes to Ryan Larkin's left. Of course, Larkin 3 weekends ago, rather, when the Redhawks were at home. The last time against the Denver Pioneers, Larkin set the career saves record in the Friday night game that he started. Around the 2,600 mark in that department. Redhawks working out of the defensive zone off the draw. Russell played it off the far boards all the way down the ice. Here's Joyo, far corner, Western Michigan. Centering feed for Rusha, play broken up by Gilling. Back for Crowder, right point. Wrist shot in off the left pad of Boosie. In front the rebound. Corbett battling there with Bennett, but Corbett went down on the play, was unable to get his stick on the puck. Rocks work it back in from center. Joyo, the wrap around the boards to the far side, is caught by DiPietro, who's back to center. Feeds it across for Allison over the Miami line on the right wing. Allison back to the right point for Warrad near circle. Gets it to the near corner. DiPietro centering feed, hopped over the stick that time with Wade Allison. Back to the left point, a shot that time off the stick of Matthias Samuelsson, patted away by Larkin. Rocks work it to the offensive zone. Green for Corbett coming down the wing near side. Green, the backhand play to Crowder, who wraps it around. And a centering feed to nobody in the middle of the ice. Kingston picks it up off the far boards for Western Michigan. Back to center. Well, we get a high stick violation here as the puck was played out of midair with a high stick by Capstick. And the faceoff will come to center ice with 6:25 to go in the first period. And the referees here are discussing something. Capstick definitely played the puck with a high stick on the far side, and they might be discussing where the face-off is. When the puck hit his stick, he was standing right on the red line in front of the benches in the far wing, and they do in fact bring the face-off to center ice. Comes all the way in on Boosie. The face-off won cleanly by Western Michigan. The Broncos here work it back to center. Lee over the line on the right wing. Finds McGing back behind the Miami net. Mahalik trying to push his way off on Cam Lee, the defenseman down in the near corner. The offensive zone working hard as Lee still with the puck here in the near corner. Centering feed for Monty Graham. Back to the near side. Pletzky can't get it out past McGing, right point. And it's played back to the middle of the ice. Capstick. Backhand feed for Pletzky. Breaks the defense up the middle of the ice. The backhand play in on Boosie, who was right there to make the stop about 3 feet out of his net. Pletzky, a good job finding room that time. Got a feed up through the middle. He split the defenders and had a little breakaway. The left-handed player going down the right wing on the backhand with a shot, but went right to the breadbasket of Boosie. Kind of a bouncing puck that time, and Pletzky had trouble keeping control. And the face-off here to the left of Boosie coming off this draw is get a whistle here. Capstick was messing that time, I guess, with the center for Western Michigan, who I believe was Rushoff. They kicked Rushoff out of the draw, and Miami wins it. Back to the near wing. Here's Dashke in the corner. Shoved off the puck by Passolt. Broncos up the right wing. Attard back to center ice. Courtney all over the line of the left wing. Top of the far circle. A shot by Larkin. Shot off of Larkin's blocker, rather. Back to the far corner. The puck goes. Courtney trying to get past Clement. Clement doing a good job keeping the body on him. Got the puck loose. Dashke came in to pick it up far corner. And the Rocks are back to center. Here's Clement over the line on the left wing. We'll wrap this one behind the Western net to the far side. Nice far corner. Gets control of the puck. Attard, though, down there trying to get control and will, but the Rocks play the loose one back behind the Bronco net. Left point, it's Russell. Kicks it free, plays it to the near circle. Matthias Samuelsson will work it back for Western Michigan with 4:55 to go in the first. And Samuelsson will take it behind his own net, although a pass up the left wing, the puck will deflect into the stands. Off the stick that time of Ethan Frank as he was defended that time by Bray Crowder. 4:49 to go in the first. Rocks lead the shot 7-9. They trail the Broncos, though, by a 1-0 score here in Oxford. It's Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .49 is left in period number 1. 1-0 lead for Western Michigan. Patrick Geshan on Red Hawk Radio with you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Pretty good crowd on hand in Oxford this evening, although the student section is lacking a little bit. Not a whole lot of students here tonight. Center ice drop, won by the RedHawks, working back to the defensive zone and back to center. Bachman picks it up center circle over the Bronco line right away. Centering feed across to the backhand. Barry was stick checked by Buffy in front of the Bronco net. Could never get a stick on the puck. Back to the right point, Crowder. Down low for Barry, deflected off his skate and all the way back out of the zone. And Buffy with it for Western Michigan. The pass up for Frank over the line on the right wing. Barry, the stick check forward for Bachman center ice, and they work it behind the net for Larkin, who leaves it for Russell behind his net in the play up the far side. Here's Crowder. Stick check there by Allison. Down the far wing for Western. Far circle, Allison worked it in front of the net. And the puck deflected high in the air. Russell took his stick to play it to the far side off the glass. And then Crowder was the next to touch it. It's a high stick violation against Miami. And Kurt Bergeron is furious on the bench right now, yelling at that play. It was kind of a lazy touch there by Russell. Could have waited for the puck to just come down. Instead, he lazily played it with a high stick above his head, right in front of the net. Next from the defensive zone draw. Cap stick up the near boards for Corbett. Touches it to green center circle. Gillingham up the left wing. Fires a shot over the net. On Pussy, had a little break. Green behind the Bronco cage. Centering feed in front, immediately picked up by Allison, and a breakaway up the head. Here's DiPietro in on goal, and he fired a wrist shot glove by Larkin. With 3:40 to go in the first period, as a clean breakaway there for Dawson DiPietro, the senior forward out of Medina, Ohio. Just a pass right through center ice, missed everybody. And DiPietro in on goal, but Larkin, the lightning reflexes as the puck was shot right in front of the net to get the glove there and keep it a 1-0 game. Face off to his left. It is Graham to square off here with McGing. One back to the near side by Kingston. Joyo rep far point was off the crossbar and kind of deflected over the net a little bit. Puck work back to center. Bennett, the backhand shovel behind the cage, picked up by Larkin, and the far side Clement wraps it around the far boards for Lown. Bennett takes over though on his own end as Lown couldn't keep control. Ben Lown to the far corner behind the net for Miami in the offensive zone. They puck off the near boards here back to the left point. Shoveled in by Graham. Lown wraps it around the boards behind the net to the far corner. Nice shoves Joyo off the puck. He's able to shoulder his way through to work it back behind the Bronco net, but Bennett is waiting for it there to grab for the Broncos. And he'll work it all the way down the ice. Little pass up the near wing intended for DiPietro. Will go all the way down for an icing as DiPietro never touched it. So that'll stop play with 2:53 to go here in the first period. And the face-off back to the Western Michigan zone. It's to the right of Boosie. Savage will square up in the draw with Hugh McGing, the center for Western Michigan. He's out of Chicago, Illinois. McGing, one of 10 finalists this year for the Senior Class Award in college hockey. NCHC players never won that award, as it's played back to center ice, and the RedHawks with a hand pass will put the face-off here, I believe, in their own zone. I would say right now Miami's very lucky this is just a 1-0 game. The way they're playing, it's been a very flat start. And it's going to take a lot of time to turn this ship around. Face off to the left of Larkin. Washi wins the draw for the Broncos. Back to the right point, Bafia. Fires across ice for Lee. Back to the far corner. Crowder up the boards. Far side for Sladek. And here comes Barry up through center ice. He's been by far the best Miami player tonight. Barry up through center, dances around to the near circle, past Bafia, centering feet across, but nobody home for the RedHawks. Cornell trips it over the line on the far wing. Gets it to Washi far corner, Russell to the puck first, and it's back behind the net, the RedHawk net, where Crowder picks it up off the far boards for Sladek. Left point kept in by the Broncos, who was played in there off the stick of Frank, and out to the far half wall, picked up by Washi, skates it to the far corner. Barry wraps it around the boards to the far side, where it's worked out off the stick that time with Sladek. Deflected off a Western leg back to the near side. Russell works the puck to center ice. where it's gloved down by Lee, and he's worked to the near side by Pletsky, and they crash to the near boards and neutral ice. Bafia trying to flip it forward. Russell picks it off the Miami line, skates it back to his own end, and a far circle pass for Crowder. And his pass to the left wing, Pletsky waiting for it at the Bronco line, and that's an icing. Chris Bergeron on the bench is just livid. He took his glasses off and started yelling a few words and then put them back on. I'll tell you what, I don't think this has been... Well, I think this has been the worst period I've seen Miami play all year. The 1:38 left here in the first. Shots are even at 7 apiece, but Miami just lacks effort and spark all across the board tonight. Russell gets to the red line after the defensive zone draw win. Just a backhand play right on net. And it's covered up by Bussi with 90 seconds to go in the first period. And not at all to be disrespectful, but this RedHawks team just needs to find something, and they haven't found it yet this year. The only player that really seems like they want to be out there is Matt Barry, number 26, the transfer out of Holy Cross. He's off to the left of Bussi. Gilling works it behind the net on the center ice win. He was the center, he won it back behind the net. Gilling here, far half wall. Matthias Samuelsson shoves him off the puck, but Gilling regains control, and it's back behind the net where Samuelsson angles him off and played to the near wing by Intert. And all the way back down the left wing, it's going to be an icing here on Western Michigan as Adder tried to feed it up the near wing where McGinn was waiting at center ice, but never ended up touching the puck. And the faceoff comes back to the Miami offensive zone with 1:08 left here in period number 1. Faceoff will come to the right of Bussi, where it's going to be Monty Graham to take it against Paul Washy. And the near circle draw is won by Western Michigan, who flips it to center ice. Dashke grabs it center circle with a minute left in the first. Plays it off the near boards. Nice. Chips it over the Bronco line in the left wing to the near corner. Samuelsson wrapped around the boards far wing, where Pasol lays a right point for Gallant. The centering feed forward. Warad. Back to the far side. Here's Jason Poland for Western Michigan. Beg your pardon, actually, that's Samuelsson coming out of his own end. We'll play it back behind the Miami net. Larkin stops it, left for Clement. Back up the boards around the far side. Sladek, right wing. Reaches center ice, and it's left there after a stick check. Barry comes through to clean it up and play it back behind the Bronco net from center. Wraps around to the near corner. Michael Joyo, the lob wedge that time, got it high in the air back to center ice. Rushoff for Russell. Played out of the Miami zone end. Bachman off the boards in front of the bench. Over the line on the right wing. Rushoff kind of held him there. Bachman still able to work it to the far corner. We still haven't had any penalties tonight. As Crowder, right wing wrist shot off the glove. That time Bussi makes another save from the left point shot by Russell. And the buzzer will expire as the RedHawks had it in front of the Western Michigan net. Barry was about to wind up for a shot, but could never get it off. And that's where we end period number 1 here in Oxford. RedHawks lead the shots by a 9-7 margin after 20 minutes, but I don't think that tells the complete story of the first period. A 1-0 lead for Western Michigan. It could be a lot more, as just the RedHawks in that frame did not come out with a whole lot of spark. So we'll take a look at your numbers here after 20 minutes from Oxford. Again, the RedHawks leading the shots by a 9-7 margin tonight. Faceoffs are even at 9 apiece, and other than that, really not much else to report in terms of stats, as we've had no power plays yet tonight. And just one goal. It's 1-0 Western Michigan here after 20 minutes. The goal was scored off the stick of Hugh McGinn. The assist to Gallant for Western Michigan. It came at 1:21 of the first period. A little wrist shot over the blocker side of Ryan Larkin. We'll take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard too here after 20 minutes from Oxford, Ohio. This is the only game going on in the NCHC at the moment, but later tonight we'll have a couple of good ones coming your way from states kind of out west. Denver will be at North Dakota tonight. Denver, the number 6 team in the nation. North Dakota ranked number 1 in the nation. They will square off at Grand Forks on the national TV game of the NCHC tonight at 8:37 Eastern Time. So that will come in about an hour or so from Ralph Engelstad Arena. Air Force and Colorado College will also square off in the battle for Colorado Springs That one will get underway tonight at 9:35 Eastern Time, so that will be in about 2 hours or so from the Broadmoor World Arena. Those two teams will actually play the second game of their series outdoors at the Air Force Academy on Monday night, also in Colorado Springs, as they will play that NHL outdoor game tomorrow between the Kings and Avalanche at the Air Force Academy. They'll leave the ice up so Colorado College and Air Force can play on it on Monday night from the Springs. So those are the only two other games going on in the NCHC tonight, as some other teams, I guess 3 of the teams in the NCHC are inactive. They have their bye week this week in college hockey. So we'll have about a 13-minute break or so before we bring you back for second period action of Miami and Western Michigan. Again, the Broncos leading by a score of 1-0 here after 20 minutes from Oxford. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio, our first intermission from Steve Cady Arena.
Warma.
One nothing Western Michigan about to start period number 2 here from Oxford, Ohio. In game 1 of this 2-game series between Miami and Western Michigan, the Broncos goal from Hugh McGing, 1:21 into the first period is the difference so far tonight. Patrick Geshan with you here on Red Hawk Radio this evening. Glad you're along for the ride. As we begin period number 2, Rats move left to right across your radio in the second. And Western, the center ice draw win. Lee came away with the puck up through center, stripped by Green to begin the period. Rushoff with the puck right wing, wraps it around the near boards where it's stopped by Clement. Left wing, Lee, a drive from the point. Was gobbled up by Larkin. He kind of let it go in front of him off his chest and was able to make the cover. That comes 16 seconds into the second period. A 1-0 lead for the Broncos. The shots still are led by Miami 9-8. Face off to the right of Larkin. Monty Graham and Colton Rushoff square off in the draw. Excuse me, Austin Rushoff. This one back to the near wing. Attern, his shot from the left point as they won the face-off back to him. Larkin, the glove save again above his left pad. Ryan Larkin with his 17th start of the season tonight. 5-10-1 record. As he's been mostly splitting time with the backup goaltender freshman Ben Cross in the second half of the year. And Cross, despite whatever happens tonight, will probably start tomorrow night. Puck back to the near corner of the Miami offensive zone. Rocks worked it there after the face-off. Right point Clement trying to slide it across. The pass immediately picked up by DiPietro, and it goes all the way to the far corner of the Miami zone. Larkin wraps it around the near boards. Clement, the backhand play behind the cage for Dashke. Wraps it up the far side. McGing stops it there. And it's poked free for Nice. Up the far wing for Miami. He got hit hard trying to come out of the zone. Back for Clement. And up the near wing is Monty Graham over the line on the right wing for the RedHawks. Graham to the near circle. Dashke right point. Works into the middle of the line. A little wrist shot in. Rebound in front of Boosie. Bachman, the puck's still loose. They work it back in front as Loud trying to center it, but it went off the stick of Bachman and all the way back down the ice. Boosie was face down that time. As they call it icing here on Western Michigan, but I don't even think they even touched the puck. The faceoff will come to the left of Boosie. He was face down on the ground pretty much. The puck was next to him. He thought it was under him, and the RedHawks were able to kind of work it back behind the net. And a centering pass in front, but nobody home. Puck to the left point. Here's Perry. Wraps it off the boards to the far wing. Bachman comes out of the corner. Shoved off there by Cale Bennett, back behind the Western Michigan net, and Joyo wraps it around the near boards. We're pinching in there is Russell. Back to the near corner. Here's Bachman for Barry right point. Catches the pass, little play into the near circle. Sladek tipped it off his stick wide of the net. McGing off the far boards, back to center, and the Rats work it back in over the line left wing. A little shot by Bachman. Fought off with the shoulder of Boosie. Puck back to center ice. Here's Bachman over the middle of the line. Plays it far side for Sladek, although Bennett that time tipped it away and played it back to center. Puck back to the middle of the ice. Here's Barry, neutral ice for Mose. Chips it over the Bronco line on the right wing and back to the near boards where Broncos kind of break it up just a little bit, and Michael Joyo will skate it to the far corner. Tripped up there by Barry, and that will give us the game's first penalty. As the puck back to center, actually floats its way out of play on the far side. It's going to be a tripping minor here against Matthew Barry. We'll get our call from Gino Binda, the Boston native.
Miami number 26, minor.
Super trip against Matthew Barry as Western Michigan will head to the power play for the first time tonight. Kind of disappointed that time. Barry is probably the hardest working Miami player on the ice tonight. Broncos power play 21% on the year, 22nd in the nation, although in the past 8 games, Western Michigan's converted 10 power play goals on 24 attempts, 41.7%. So they're pretty hot as of late. Adder left point with a puck for Western Michigan, dances it down the near boards, puts it back to the center point. Joyo far side, a slap shot by Passel. Gloved up by Larkin, who was right there to make the save. 13 seconds gone in the power play, and 17:24 left here in the second. 7 different players have scored on the power play in their past 8 power play goals for Western Michigan. So it's not just 1 or 2 players that come out to you, it's 7 of them that have scored in the past 8 power play goals. Rocks win the defensive zone draw, work it all the way back down the ice. It's caught there by Busey, and Western Michigan works it from behind their own net. Up the boards, over the line, left wing, Washing. It was deflected back to center. Joyo gave it off for Dashke, the defenseman over the line on the left wing, penalty kill. We'll play this one back behind the Western Michigan net where it's caught by Joyo. The backhand play up the near boards is caught by Ronnie Adder. Back to the near circle, Josh Bassel dances around the defender, Monty Graham. Actually, the forechecker, Monty Graham, you could say, with the puck now behind the Western Michigan net. Michael Joyo will skate this one out all by himself for Western Michigan. Pass to the far wing. It's out of the reach of Wade Allison. It's going to be an icing call here. As Allison coming down the far wing, Joyo kind of little backhand pass over to him. And when he did that, it was before the red line. The pass about 5 feet in front of Wade Allison, and the puck just kind of, with a fresh ice, scurried down to the Miami end and was an icing call as Allison couldn't beat it out. Face off here to the right of Busey. Phil Nyes will square off with Cole Gallant. And it's one to the right wing, picked up here by Wade Allison. Back to center ice for Western over the line on the right wing. They're into the offensive zone, 45 seconds to go on the Western Michigan power play. As the Rocks work the puck back to center and into the Western Michigan zone. DiPietro will leave control behind the Western Michigan net, give it off to his teammate Cam Lee. Lee through the center circle, over the Miami line right away to the near circle. Broken free by Green, played it up for Gilling, trying to swipe it out of the zone, but can never really clear. As Western gets it back in front, Rushoff, 2 chances on the right pad of Larkin, and it's back to the near corner where Green will play this one up for Russell and all the way down the ice to clear. Scary opportunity there. Rocks couldn't clear on the left point, and then Western able to get it right in front of the net and had 2 good opportunities. DiPietro back to center, over the line on the right wing, Poland to pass in front for the trailing winger. That was DiPietro able to get a shot off on the left pad of Larkin, who makes the cover with 15:36 left here in the second. And right when that whistle happens, Matt Barry returns from the penalty box to bring Miami back to full strength. So the face-off here to the right of Larkin. Poland squares off with Johnson. Back to 5-on-5, and it's a clean Miami win. Back to behind the net. Kapsik up the far boards. Mateus Samuelson at the right point plays it all the way back around the boards to the near side. Savage with Adder. It's worked down the near boards as Adder kept it in at the left point for Western Michigan. Works it back to the near circle. Near corner, Kapsik works it up the boards along the near wing. Digging at it that time was Ethan Frank. And it's played in on Larkin, just kind of trickled in from the left point on the ice. Off the stick of Adder, who was probably looking to pass it to someone in the middle of the ice. Larkin the cover as it came in with 15:09 left here in the second. And the face-off will be to Larkin's right. Redhawks still lead the shot margin, this time 12-11. Washi and Gilling scoring off in the near circle for the draw, and it's back behind the net as Dashke kicks it free up the near boards. Caught by Adder, left point Gallant. Fires it to the far corner, Clement able to shove himself off the puck that time. Washi got it back. Up the near wing is Bennett for Western Michigan. Pass to the near side to Tard through the near circle, trying to work his way to the middle on the stick of Cordnall. A shot right into the left pad of Larkin, who makes the cover as it was on the ice. As the players chirp it after the whistle, the linesman come in to break it up, and we'll get our first media timeout here of the second. Western Michigan turning up the offense a little bit in the past few sequences. 14:46 left here in the second. Broncos on top 1-0. It's Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. He's coming to the right of Ryan Larkin with 14:46 left here in the second. A 1-0 Western Michigan lead. Patrick Geshan with you on Red Hawk Radio tonight. As Matt Berry squares off in the face-off here with Wade Allison. Western Michigan to win forward, back behind the Miami net, but it's Clement far corner to grab the loose puck that squirted free, and it's picked up here in the far circle. Broncos able to work it back as Bassel in the far corner skates it up the far boards. Little backhand play behind the net to the near wing where Lee grabs it along the near circle. Lee circles back in the near corner, working there with Dashke. And Dashke able to strip him with a puck, work it up the near boards. Bassel plays it down to the near corner. Or it's grabbed by Drew Warad and around to the far boards to the right point. Bafia plays it behind the Miami net. Bassel gloves the puck down for midair in the near corner. As Warad will give it up for Bassel. Skates it to the far side behind the Miami net. Clement works it free there to the left wing. Corbett, his outlet pass went off the skate of Wade Allison back to the far boards. And it's wrapped around the near wing here from Clement. Lee, left wing, fired a shot for the point, deflected through some bodies to the far corner. Up the far boards, Corbett trying to work the puck. Dashke takes over the far corner, wraps it around to the near corner where it's DiPietro, who took over there off the outlet pass. Kept in left point by Rushoff to the near side for Lee. Behind the Miami net, his stick came loose and let go of his hands. Lee's, the puck is under his blade. He held it and was able to get it deep in the zone. Now the Rocks work it out. Here's Corbett down the left wing. Plays a centering feed in front. We get a penalty coming here as Sladek was coming down the middle of the ice. And I think Western Michigan's going to get a call here. Sladek may have been interfered there with 13:12 to go in the second. And they're going to take the man who is without a stick. That's Cam Lee. Cam Lee was holding the stick of John Sladek when the centering pass came across, and Lee probably picked it up off the ice, so he'll sit for 2 minutes. But Lee did a really interesting thing back at the other end of the ice. When he was without a stick, he managed to carry the puck from the far corner of the offensive zone all the way up to the high slot by putting the puck under the blade of his skate and striding with the other blade on the other skate, and he was able to just kind of glide across to the high slot and then dish off his foot, the puck under his foot, kind of dish it off to a teammate at the point. It was a very well-crafted play by Lee, but he sits 2 minutes here for holding the stick. So the first power play of the game for the RedHawks. We'll see what they can do here. Their power play's been hot as of late. The puck in the near corner of the offensive zone. Bachman trying to work his way up the boards. We're going to get another penalty here in Western Michigan as Bachman was trying to get to the puck. It was at the right point. Nobody was there for Miami, and McGing that time was holding him, but I think Bachman's going to go, and he will for interference. That's a lazy penalty for the Redhawks as McGing and Bachman both racing for that puck to the right point of the offensive zone. And Bachman knew he was going to lose the race. The fastest player on the team is Bachman. And that time wrapped his arms around McGing and sent him tumbling to the ice. And that wipes out the Miami power play. And it'll go 4-on-4 for the next minute, 34. So the offensive zone draw won by Western Michigan. Samuelson in the near corner works it behind the Miami net, and he's up the far boards. Pass to the near point. Allison a drive, went off a stick high off the glass behind the net. And it's picked up on the far boards here by Ben Loud to hit the brakes behind the Miami net. Loud far circle, nice. Works it back for Loud far away. Played by Russell. Pass to the near side for Nice. Samuelson hits him off the puck. He's over the line to left wing. 2-on-0 the other way. Samuelson in front for the tip. That was wide of the net by Allison down the right wing. Allison with a puck in the near corner for Western Michigan. Still 4-on-4. Gave it for Rushoff, left point. Dances his way around Nice in the near circle. Rushoff behind the Miami net will skate it up the far boards. Hit the brakes in the far circle. Rushoff, high slot. On the forehand, little play to the middle of the ice, and a shot on net, sticked away by Larkin to the near side. Allison, though, will leave it back for center ice and pick it up here in the center circle. He was trying to feed a Raddard rather, at the left point, but he lost control of the puck. They'll let it go back to center. DiPietro left wing neutralized. Western trying to work it back in his zone. Hit off the puck by Johnson. DiPietro tumbling to the ice, but no call. Miami with the puck on the opposite wing. Russell over the Bronco line on the left wing, reaches behind the net, the centering feed in front, and it's picked up here by DiPietro, swiped it off the stick of Johnson. DiPietro back the other way, over the line on the right wing. He was taken down by Mahalik with one arm. There's no call on that either. Mose picks up the puck on the far side, and they're back the other way. It's the power play for Western Michigan for 20 more seconds, and the Bachman interference minor. Mose, the feed up to the right point, past Mahalik, but they did it on purpose to clear it all the way back down to the Miami end. With 10 seconds left here to kill in the penalty. And Capstick from behind his own net will clear all the way back to behind the Western Michigan net. And the power play will expire here to the Broncos, and the RedHawks and Broncos will now skate 5-on-5 as Bachman returns. Dealing in his own end, the cross ice feed for Capstick up the far boards, tipped by Bachman center ice. And it's in behind the Western Michigan net. Boosie wraps it around the near boards. Gilling picks it up right point, a wrist shot there. Wide of Boosie, high on the ice. Dashke behind the cage. Bachman pinched up against the boards by Joyo. As Bafia trying to work it free as well. Green to the left point. Dashke faked a slap shot, instead works at center point. A wrist shot wide on the ice. Clement comes down the boards from the right point and will circle back and wrap it to the near corner. Gilling for Green near hash marks. To the middle point now as Green works it to the left point. Down the far boards is Corey Green. Lays it back behind the net, pass Karch Bachman, who came crashing into the end boards. It comes to the near corner where Clement came down for the right point to play it. And he'll wrap it around to the far half wall. Dashke with a puck here. Far circle slide. Kicked it off his skate. He gets it back top of the far circle. Near wing pass. Clement down the right point. Little wrist shot in. Over the glove. That time a Boosie. And it's played here on the far side by Corbett. Down low for Sladek in the far corner. Wrapped around behind the net past Joyo. Clement to the right point for Corbett. Gets it on the forehand. Plays it to the near circle. Clement the rip wide of the net on the ice. I don't think Boosie ever saw it. Sladek now with the puck behind the Miami net. He's up the near boards to center ice, or to the high slot rather. Plays it far side for Dashke the rip. And it goes wide of the net. Puck to the far corner. Corbett working there against Michael Joyo. It's stripped free by Barry near circle. Came in on goal but never got a shot off. A good poke check that time by Boosie. Good offensive zone pressure by the RedHawks here. They're keeping it in for a long time. Barry top of the near circle. Faked a slap shot. Backhand feed to the right point. Dashke over to Crowder, left point. His slap shot deflected through traffic to the near corner. Barry picks it up there and cycles it down low for Corbett. Also in the near corner. Corbett up the near half wall for Dashke right point. Keeps it in with a toe of his stick. A shot into the high slot blocked down by Barry. And the puck squirts to the near corner again. Corbett behind the Western Michigan net, up the far boards. This Broncos team is tired. The long change, and all 5 players have been out there in the defensive zone for a long time. And now Corbett will let it go off his pad. Passel played it all the way down the ice, and it went out of play along the near boards. And Western Michigan's not going to be allowed to change here. Those players were out there for a good 2.5 minutes on that last shift. And Andy Murray's going to call his timeout here with 8:21 to go in the second. As Western Michigan, all 5 defenders are hunched over going to the bench now. And without them being able to change with the puck going out of play, Andy Murray will call his timeout with 8:21 here to go in the second, and Western Michigan leading it by a 1-0 score. But that was probably the best 2.5 minutes of the game for the RedHawks, as they had some pretty good offensive zone time, able to work the puck around the zone very well. We're getting some quality shots on that. The puck movement was the best it's been all game. So if you look at the past 3 minutes for the RedHawks, I feel like they started that first period off terribly in terms of the energy they brought onto the ice, but in that last 2.5 to 3 minute sequence, you saw some spark in this Miami team, which is good to see. Shots are tied at 14 apiece with 8:21 to go here in the second, and Western Michigan using their timeout. So they will send out now their third line tonight of Hugh McGing at center, Cole Gallant right wing, and Rhett Kingston at left wing. Whereas a draw here to the left of Boosie, it'll be Lonnie Graham with a clean win against McGing. Back to the right point, Russell the drive, went off of Lown to the far corner. Western Michigan crashing there to the puck, but it's kept in by the skate of Nyes. The Broncos get the 7-iron out to work it back to center. Crowder, right side of center ice, will play this one into the offensive zone and behind the net. Boosie leaves it for Lown. Cram works it up around the left point, over the stick of Russell all the way down the ice. Picked up by Kingston in the offensive zone for Western Michigan. Top of the zone for Attard as he came in down the middle of the ice. Couldn't get a shot off though as Graham stripped him of the puck. Graham with the Western line on the right wing. Reaches the near circle, gave it off for Lown, is in the near corner of the offensive zone. It's worked up the near boards. Kingston will take over for Western. Plays it to Gallant over the line right wing. Little soft shot, top of the far circle into the breadbasket of Larkin, who makes the save with 7:33 to go here in the second. 1-0 Western Michigan, who's holding on to the lead in Oxford. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Face off is to the left of Ryan Larkin after the timeout. Western Michigan works it back to the right point for a slap shot off the stick. That time of Jared Kucherek, but it's right into the breadbasket of Larkin. The face-off returns back to his left with 7:31 to go here in the second. Western Michigan, the offensive zone draw went on the far side. Attard picks it up top of the far circle. Came in with a toe drag and a shot, that time off his stick. Deflects high off a Miami stick, I think, and out of play. Face-off now returns to Larkin's left. In a 1-0 Western Michigan lead with 7:24 to go here in the second. Patrick Geshan with you on Red Hawk Radio. Glad you're with us tonight. Attard back to the far wing. Mateus Samuelson with a puck for Western Michigan. Works it behind the net. It's caught there by Allison. He reaches the far corner for the Broncos. Mahalik trying to shove Allison off the puck. As Allison now at the far board, Samuelson came down for the far wing to dance behind the net, where it's played by DiPietro. Work free behind the Miami net by Killing. Up the near boards, coming in from the left point to play. At that time was Ronnie Attard. Was able to hold it in for a second. Rocks working up the near boards and back to neutral ice. DiPietro swipes it into the zone for Western Michigan. Capstick near circle, the cross ice feed. It's controlled here by Mahalik in the far corner, and now it's controlled by Green. And Mahalik was kind of speared there down low by Rushoff, but no referees will call it. As the puck back in the far side. Rushoff near wing for Attard. Trying to dance his way past the defender at the half wall. Rushoff to the net, and he will score. A little pass over to Matthias Samuelson on the right post. Was waiting for a one-timer. The left-handed player swipes it past the left pad of Larkin. 2-0 Western Michigan with 6:22 to go in the second. And the Broncos here will grab another one from Samuelson. The puck on the left wing. They kind of worked it down low to the net. And a cross ice feed to Samuelson. We'll see who gets credit for the primary assist. As the Broncos double the lead to 2-0 with 6:18 now left in the second. Cornell at neutral ice, on the line of the left wing for Western Michigan. Works it back to the left point. Lee coming down the boards along the near wing. Washi behind the net for Poland. Dashke there will trap him up against the boards. And coming from behind the Miami net was Washi. He was tripped up, and we get a tripping penalty here coming up against the RedHawks. Bafia, center point, slap shot right to Clement, who will make the touch. It's actually going to be a hooking call, and the guilty party for the RedHawks will be Carter Johnson. As Washi was carrying the puck from behind the Miami net to the far side, and a tripping call that time that was pretty obvious. We'll send Johnson to the box for two. Western Michigan back to the power play. Their second goal at 13:38 of the second period. Matthias Samuelson scored it. Austin Rushoff, one assist. Ronnie Attard, the other assist. Our side, Russell works it all the way back down the ice. And behind the net, Busey. Western Michigan stops it for the Broncos. It's controlled here by Lee. Pass to the far side for McGing. Over the line on the right wing for Western Michigan. Far side pass. Here's Wade Allison. It's the breaks far side for Lee, right point. All the way down behind the net. Rushoff worked it free for Russell. Back to the far side for McGing. Into the right point for Lee. Slides it left point. DiPietro. Far side. A slap shot. McGing far circle. Went over the net and back in front. It came off the end boards. But the Rocks able to take control in front of Larkin and work it all the way down the ice. 40 seconds into the power play. Picked up behind the Bronco cage by Cam Lee. Works it all the way to center ice. Over to McKing on the right wing. Chips it over the Miami line. And picked up in the far corner. Dashke will work it all the way back down the ice. And behind the Western Michigan net. Busey will stop it for the Broncos. Not much of a forecheck from Miami on the penalty kill. Lee up for Washi. Skates it up through center ice, over the line on the right wing. Hits the breaks top of the far circle. Cross ice pass over to McGing. We'll work it around the boards to the far side for Passol. Right point control here, Michael Joyo. Near point for Attard. Back for Joyo's center point. Our circle for Passol. Couldn't catch the pass. Let it go to the end board. Slatic will pitch him up against the boards. Back to the near circle, Attard. His centering pass to the far circle. Passol picks it up in the corner. Or out to the right point for Joyo. 24 left in the power play. Our point for Passel. Back for Joyo's center point. A rip off the skate of Killing. Deflects in near circle. Attard picks it up for the Broncos. Left point Warad. Center point. Here's Joyo. Puck on his forehand. Near circle. Attard the drive off the stick of Clement. And back to the far point. Here's Passel. Passel works it middle of the ice. Rips a shot over the net. Green back to center ice. On a clear as he picked it up. Passel here for the Broncos. Cross ice feed for Samuelson. Chips it over the line on the right wing. And behind the net, here's Mahalik for Barry. Far corner, RedHawks work it out. As we're back to 5-on-5, the power play is over for Western Michigan. Poland in front of his own net for Bafia. Back to the near wing, it's Samuelson, and up the boards over the line on the left wing is Courtnall. Reaches the near circle and behind the net. In front for a shot. Poland lifted it over the net from right in front of Larkin. Samuelson left point, a wrist shot. High and wide over the net on the right side. And it deflects off the high glass all the way back down to the Western Michigan end. Bafia up the near boards, picks it up for the Broncos. Little backhand play to center. Corbett over the Bronco line on the right wing for Bafia in the near circle. As it went right to him and back to the far corner, Samuelson. His pickoff attempt was, or the pass rather, was picked off by Corbett, and then he was coming down the far boards from the left point of the zone and was tripped up, and we're going to get a penalty on that. As the Racks will go to the power play with 2:58 to go in a second. They're going to send Jason Poland to the box here for tripping. 2-0 though, the Western Michigan leads. Samuelson, the goal, is where we stand right now with 2:58 left in the second. It's Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
Honestly, don't give a shit about what
Akira Gaganite center. Apologize for those technical difficulties there. The puck back to the near wing as the face-off is to the right. That time of the Western Michigan goaltender, Brandon Busey. And we're all the way back to center ice where Dashke controls here on the far wing for Miami in his own defensive zone. Dashke back for Gilling in his own end. Works it up through the center circle and chips it over the line on the far wing, right to the glove of Busey, who makes the stop with 2:29 to go in the second. RedHawks are on the power play here for the next minute and 31. As the penalty was to Western Michigan's Jason Poland, a 2-minute minor for tripping on the power play. Face off here to the right of Busey. Back to the center point, Mahalik. Needs it for Pletzky. The rip went off the left post from the left point. Back to the far side, Warad. Let it go to the far corner. In front for Slatic. A rip over the net on the glove side. Left point, Mahalik. Far side, Pletzky on the Edwards. Top of the line for Mahalik. Back to the near circle, Slatic. Trying to work it down low behind the net. Played there by Graham. Slatic for Graham. Works it to the far corner and back to the far wing for Pletzky. Kick free there by McGing. Mahalik, left point. Plays it to the far circle. Here's Graham, a shot right into the pads of Busey, who makes the stop with 1:50 left in the second. 53 to go in the power play. Good puck movement that time by the RedHawks in the last sequence. And we'll get a face-off here, I believe, to the right of Busey with 1:50 to go in the second. And the players are returning to their benches. We're going to get a review here, I think. And the referees are in the penalty box. And I'm not sure what they're reviewing. It could be that Pletzky shot from the left point. The deflector went off the post. And maybe the officials thinking that it went off the inside of that post. We never got an announcement before the review, but Gino Binda is in on the headset right now. And maybe looking at that shot. I can't really see the monitor. So Pletzky was at the left point. He kind of fired a shot in that deflected off the left post, and it kind of went off the inside of the post. And Gino Binda announcing that it just hit the post and it was no goal. So visuals thought it could have gone off the inside of the post and maybe over the line, but instead no goal. And now we get a scores table wants to, Gino Binda was in the box and he left his whistle in there. So the referee stopped play, or the off-ice official stopped play in the penalty box by pulling the horn to let Gino know that his whistle was still in there. Referee kind of needs that. Western left circle works the puck all the way down the ice. Larkin for Dashke behind the net. Leaves it for Gilling. 40 seconds left in the power play. Gilling through the center circle, feeds it back for Green, who's over the Western line left wing. Green, high slot, chips it behind the Bronco net. Little shot that went wide, picks it up far corner. Back for Dashke left point, 1:20 left in the second. Barry right point. On the near boards, plays it to the right point for Dashke. Cross ice for Green in the far circle. Green, back for Dashke center point. Near wing for Barry. Matt Barry down the far boards. Down there behind the net is Gilling. Back for Green. Middle line, Dashke fires a shot. Rebound, they score! Matt Barry on the right edge of the net, right in front of Busey, able to clean up the rebound after the shot from the line. And the RedHawks are on the board. A power play goal by Matt Barry. Sophomore out of Naperville, Illinois will grab his third tally of the year. As he was waiting right on the right edge of the post undefended to step it past Busey as the shot from the line went off his pad. And Barry right there to clean it up. And he cut the lead in half, 2-1. The RedHawks capitalize on the power play here. And the power play remains hot for the RedHawks. Behind the net, Samuelson for Western Michigan, behind his own cage. Back to the left point, Russell, the rip wide to the net right. Crowder near boards for Johnson, behind the net, cleaned up here by Rushoff. Backhand play around the boards to the near side, Crowder. Works it behind the net for Savage, Rushoff shoves him off the puck. Mateus Samuelson back the other way for Western Michigan. Through the center circle and chips it over the line on the left wing for Rushoff. Back for Crowder. Here comes Mose for the RedHawks. Right wing center ice. Over the line comes Savage. Top of the near circle. Ryan Savage tripped up and no call. Kind of did it himself as a puck to the near corner with 13 seconds to go here in the second. 2-1 lead for Western. Up the boards. Here comes Wade Allison. Back to center. Drill here by DPH. Throwing us back for Cam Lee in his own end for Western Michigan. And Lee will just wait here as time expiring in the period. And Lee will get through 40 minutes here from Oxford, Ohio tonight. It's a 2-1 lead for the Broncos from Western Michigan. The shots are even at 17 apiece here after 40 minutes from Oxford. Miami goal was scored by Matt Barry on the power play at 19 minutes into the second period. Derek Dashke and Gordon Green with the assists. As the RedHawks trailing Western Michigan by a 2-1 score. Here as we've reached the second intermission. Mateus Samuelson had the goal for the Broncos, 13:38 into the second period. Rushoff and Adard with the assist for the Broncos. Matt Barry again the goal on the power play from Dashke and Green, also rounding out the scoring in the second to give the 2-1 lead to Western Michigan here after 40 minutes. We'll take a look at your out-of-town NCHC scoreboard. And again, no other games going on in progress right now. We're at the end of the second here in Oxford, Ohio tonight. But North Dakota and Denver will square off in about 7 minutes or so. An 8:37 start. They are slated for at Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks tonight. Air Force and Colorado College are also going to play this evening at the Broadmoor World Arena in the Springs for a 9:35 p.m. Eastern start from Colorado College. So until then, no other games to talk about in the NCHC, and we'll take a quick break here for the second intermission. The Miami Marching Band is out on the ice right now, performing a little bit like they would at a football game at halftime. They're out on the ice with special shoes and playing a bit of a song, so we'll pick that up for you here at the second intermission. 2-1 Western Michigan the lead. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
Parents, we're happy to also welcome the Miami Symphony Orchestra to tonight's game. We thank you for the wonderful rendition of the national anthem delivered here tonight. And don't miss the Symphony's incredible performance on Wednesday, March 4, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. at All Metropolitan. Miami's Department of Physics will be joining forces with the Department of Music to feature the Bands by Crystal August, narrated by Dr. Renata Crawford. This program will explore the mysteries of the universe connected with music, from the origins of the cosmos to superstring theory. Tickets can be obtained at the Miami Christmas box office at the campus of the building. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the guests the winners of our separate divisions in the Broncos, Cora and Taylor. Congratulations, enjoy your ride tonight. Continue to look at Ballers, in Oxford, the trusted boss of Jason Reynolds, Remax of Real Estate. Call Jason today at 448-7 and have his team working for you. And here's the ones we want to thank Mercy as the official healthcare partner of Miami RedHawks. As the exclusive liquid beverage partner of Miami RedHawks Pepsi is support the Hawks by giving back to Miami with the Pepsi Gatorade product purchased on campus. So whatever your concession stands, drink Pepsi. CCHA Pepsi officials on most of our houses in G39. The Elms, Oxford's only uptown hotel, offers luxurious accommodations located in the heart of uptown Oxford. Or direct 535-242-2002. Or online at theelmsoxford.com. You win with Miami RedHawks. Mention Miami's name as Western Michigan to enhance as your programs within 48 hours to redeem your additional $100 discount. Access everything you're looking for. So call our office at 513-996-9111. John Swoops Kids Club was organized Central Terminal and NCHC today. Between 1920 and prostitutes and contract racing officials to provide with rituals designed as special events and national $100 which includes tickets to all bands and rhythms, basketball games, and discounted hockey tickets on Friday nights. Visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. Ladies and gentlemen, ticket to your there to get you safely to your destination. 6 stars are where you visit RedHawks.com. Redhawks Tires, official tire of Miami's on our strength. For nearly 130 years, Mercy Health has been providing comprehensive and compassionate health care in Lower County. And here in Oxford, property with our Institute of Cardiologists, serving the community for more than 40 years, and our orthopedics and sports medicine specialists for more than 20. And just to remember, Mercy Healthcare Hospital has been taking care of our communities for more than 40 years as well. Always being first with medical technology and patient care protocols. Mercy Health, the official healthcare partner of Miami Athletics. Fans, big party in CCHC inside of the 2020 Frozen Festival. March 20th and 21st once again, Cady Arena, here come the RedHawks.
Patrick Geshan back with you on Red Hawk Radio, about to begin the third period of action between Miami and Western Michigan. Broncos on top by a score of 2-1. As we're about to begin the second 20 minutes of play. There's Matthias Samuelson, Hume again, the goal scorers for Western Michigan. Matt Berry on the power play for the RedHawks scored 19 minutes into that second period on the last sequence. The Rags were on the power play to make it a 2-1 game here in the third. Miami right to left across your radio in period number 3, and they'll face off immediately won back by Western Michigan. Lead the cross ice feed for Allison over the line on the right wing, stopped the near circle. As Bachman took over there for Dashke, who's trying to come out of his own end with a puck, and he was tripped up in the high slot of Miami's zone. Get a power play coming up here. Wade Allison got his stick in the legs of Derek Dashke, and Miami right to the power play. Just 19 seconds into this third period. It'll be a slashing minor to Wade Allison. And the RedHawks power play will go to work again. Again, they scored on the last opportunity. And Miami power play tonight, that is 1 for 2. Faceoff will come to the right of Busey here. One back by Berry to the left point for Green. Down to the near circle comes Gordon Green with a puck. Back to the left point here for Dashke. Slides it right side. Right point Berry. Back for Dashke, middle point. For Green, a rip. Near circle over the net. And all the way back to center ice. Dashke comes to his own end for Miami. We'll pass it back here for Gordon Green. In front of his own net. Green far circle, the near side feed. Here's Matt Berry over the line of the left wing. Berry in the near corner, hits the brakes, back for Bachman, left point. Means at center point for Dashke, near side for Green, returns to Dashke. And on the far wing, it's controlled here by Berry. Dashke, right point. Slides in near circle for Green, walks it to the left side, high in the zone. Down the near corner for Gillen, works his way through the near circle, back for Green, below the goal line. Left point Dashke, right side for Berry, 1:05 left in the power play. Dashke center point, top of the near circle, here's Green. Cross ice feed, Berry back for Dashke, center point, he scores! And with 18:36 to go in the third period, another power play goal will tie the game at 2. Derek Dashke. And the RedHawks respond from the 2-0 deficit. Well, the leading point getter in terms of defensemen for Miami, Derek Dashke this year. He scored 8 of 17 goals coming into this game by defensemen for the RedHawks, which is 4th best in the NCAA among defensemen. And second on the team with 5 multi-point games this year is Derek Dashke to tie this one up at 2 with 18.5 to go here in the third period from Oxford. The puck trickles in here on Busey from center ice. He'll leave it for Samuelson off the far boards, back to center. Patzel over the line of the left wing comes Warad, top of the far circle, a rip. And went off a body back to the left point. Samuelson for Passel. We'll play this one in front of the Miami bench, up the far wing for Loud. Here's Samuelson. He'll grab it in his own end, back for Warad near side, and chips it in behind the Miami net. Crowder behind his own cage. Works it to the near side for Berry. Matt Berry back to the near corner. Russell behind his own net. Leaves it for Berry near corner. And up the near wing comes Joyo. Back for Berry in the near circle. Broken up. Here's Russell. Feeds it ahead. Berry over the line on the right wing. Top of the far circle. A play in front on the ice. It went off the pad of Busey for a big rebound, but nobody home to corral it for the RedHawks. Bennett over the line, left wing. Western Michigan to the offensive zone. Wraps it around for Rushoff. Near half wall to the far corner, Mahalik. He's worked off the puck by Allison. Behind the net, Allison hits the brakes. Feeds it left point. Now right side. Off the stick of Joyo at the right point and went behind him and out of the zone. Left point, Bennett works it all the way around the boards to the near wing. Here's Corbett. Controls the puck for the RedHawks up the near side at center ice. And it's through the circle back behind the Western Michigan net. Lee corrals the puck for the Broncos. He's back the other way. Raised it for Gallant, who was in the middle of the ice. The pass went through his body, and Dashke played it for the RedHawks in his own end. We get a whistle here for an offside. Just kind of an awkward zone entry that time for Western Michigan as puck kept coming in and out and off some bodies and through some bodies, and the face-off will come to neutral ice on the Miami left wing here close to the Miami line with 16:54 to go in the third. So Carter Johnson with McGing. It's one back to Miami's own end. Dashke. Far point for Clement. Wraps it up the far boards. But he was collided with there by Rhett Kingston. And an offside for Western Michigan. The puck came out, but McGing was still in, and Kingston tried to carry it back in. As two tall, above 6 foot bodies there on the far boards were colliding between Clement and Kingston, and then Western trying to enter the zone with the man still in it. 16:43 to go in the third. Neutralize face off far side. They work it back to the near wing. Adder around the boards to the far side. Crowder chips the outlet pass to Green, who plays it all the way down the ice. Adder and Bachman in an icing race, and they will call the icing as Bachman was tied with Adder that time when they blew it dead as the puck went over the goal line. And the fans don't like the icing call here. But so is life. It'll go against you sometimes. Larkin will have the draw to his right. Rushoff will square off in it with Casey Gilling. And Rushoff will be kicked out of the draw. That's like the third time that's happened tonight. Allison comes in to take it for the Broncos. And Gilling the clean win. Back for Crowder, far circle. Trying to feed it to center. The pass picked off by Adder. Going for Bachman at center ice. Works it back behind the Miami net. Here's Crowder with the puck. Chips it up the near boards for Bachman. Feeds a far circle. Over the line is Green on the right wing. Plays it to the near side for Russell. And up the near boards, here's Rushoff. DiPietro rather, through the center circle. Over the line to the left wing. Samuelson in front for DiPietro. Going off the stick of Larkin back to the near boards. Russell up the near wing to center ice. Chips it past Adder and over the line on the left wing into the near corner. Matthias Samuelson wraps it up the near boards. Adder deflected off the stick of Rushoff all the way down the ice, where Lown picks it up in the near corner for the RedHawks. Ben Lown through the center ice circle, passes it near wing, over the line left wing came Phil Nyes, lost control of the corner. Bodies crash into the end ball, trying to go for the puck. Wraps it up to the right point. Mahalik plays it in for Nyes far side, back behind the net, Lown. To the near corner, Graham, left point for Capstick. Plays it wide of the net, hard off the end boards. It's picked up by Warad in front of the net as it came in front of Busey. And here comes Capstick at his own end for the RedHawks. He'll circle back here and play it up the right wing. Graham chips it over the line on the right side into the Western Michigan zone and behind the Bronco net. Busey played it up to the right wing for Frank over the Miami line. On the right side, a little play on the ice to the far corner where it's wrapped behind the Miami net, and Barry stops the puck for Passol. Sladek backhand feed to center. Corbett couldn't grab it on the right wing. Western works it back into behind the Miami net. As Barry here will grab it off the stick of Larkin and come out of his own end to carry the puck. 14:40 left here in the third. 2-2 game, Miami and Western Michigan. Barry was knocked over in the center circle, stripped from the puck. Gallant over the line of the left wing. Here comes McGing trying to center it for Lee. Deflected off the skate there of Sladek into the far corner. Gallant for McGing behind the net. The shot there off the mask of Larkin. He will cover up here with 14:22 to go in the third period. We're tied at 2 between Miami and Western Michigan. A little timeout here from Oxford on the game-tying goal that came from Derek Dashke. Knotted at 2 in Oxford. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Face-off coming to the left of Brian Larkin. 14:22 to go here in the third period. And a 2-2 tie between Miami and Western Michigan. Face-off to Larkin's left. Carter Johnson, the win back. It's played off the glass by Russell to center ice. Samuelson controls it for Adard. And over the line on the left wing come the Broncos. Russell behind his own net to the far corner. Here is Crowder. Up the far boards, plays it to Savage at center ice. Samuelson chipped it over the line on the left wing and back to center. Or it's back to the near side. Courtnall in the near corner for Western Michigan. Behind the Miami net. Little give and go that time with Washi. It goes up the far board. Savage works it back behind the Miami cage. Russell, backhand centering feed in front of his own net. And Larkin able to cover it up. Nobody was there for Western Michigan, luckily, but Russell just made a dangerous play, a centering feed right on his own net from behind it. Luckily, Larkin's there to cover that up, but geez. Face-offs to his right. Gilling will square off in it with McGing. One to the far corner. Clement chips it high off the glass, back to center ice. Taken by Western in their own end, although Lee hit hard off the puck by Green. They work it back to center and into the Miami zone. Dashke picks it up in his own end for the RedHawks. The feed far wing for Gilling. Cross ice for Bachman over the line on the left wing. Squeezes past the hit from Bafia. Although Kingston came in to steal the loose puck. And back up to center ice. McGing over the Miami line right wing. Fires a wrist shot high slot. Right in the skates of Dashke, who picks it up and fires to Gilling. And now the puck on the far side picked up here by Clement. Back to center ice. Bachman lost control at the Bronco line. Back to the near wing, Bafia for Green, who kicks it back into his own end. Capstick for Dashke, left wing at center. Off the near boards, over the line on the near wing is Graham to wrap it around to the far corner. Green came in that time, working with Allison. And Western Michigan here back to center ice will work the puck. Capstick, the chip forward. Nice. We'll play this one into the offensive zone along the near boards. Bafia, the centering feed to Joyo, who's behind the Western Michigan net. Michael Joyo, the pass is tipped into the Miami zone as he was trying to go up the ice. Caught behind the net by Mahalit for Lau. Center circle, nice. Works there with Joyo, and it's wrapped behind the net and stopped by Busey behind the Western Michigan cage. And up the near boards comes Jared Kucherek. I got the feed at center, over the line right wing. Big shot, big rebound. Larkin is coming through the middle of the ice. That time DiPietro able to pick it up and fire it in. And Larkin that time with a save off the big rebound with 12:05 left in the third. We're tied at 2 between Miami and Western Michigan. And a face-off coming to Larkin's left. Matt Berry will take the face-off for the RedHawks. It looks like Drew Warad will square off with against him for Western Michigan. And it's one back by Warad to the right point. Adard down the near boards. Will play the puck behind the net for Berry, who wraps it off the far side and all the way back down the ice. Adard trying to race it down. It will be an icing here on Berry's clearing attempt. That was untouched with 11:52 to go here in the third. Tied at 2 between Miami and Western Michigan. Want to remind you, coming your way tomorrow, a doubleheader of basketball action on Red Hawk Radio. Miami women's basketball team taking on the Ohio Bobcats, and the Miami men against Northern Illinois over at Millett Hall. 1 p.m. Eastern time, our coverage will begin. Both games here on Red Hawk Radio. That comes your way tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern time, the women's tip. 3:30 Eastern, the men's tip. Both games available here on Red Hawk Radio. And then the hockey game tomorrow night. Game 2 of this series will come your way at 7 o'clock, also on Red Hawk Radio. Bucket center ice, left wing. Josh Passel feeds it down the middle of the ice for Frank. It was poke checked away from him. Sladek to the near corner where Russell slides across ice for Crowder. Far circle in his own end is Bray Crowder. The forehand pass to the near wing, tipped in over the left wing by Sladek. And to the near corner where it's grabbed by a Tart. Pletzky will battle with Adder to the near corner as joining the party too. Coming in was Gilling, and the puck is pinched up and skates down the near corner, but Western works it up the far wing and all the way back to center. Courtnall rushing over the line on the left wing. Far circle, a wrist shot in. Well seen by Larkin with 10:58 left here in the third. So again, these two teams meet again tomorrow night at 7:05 here at the Goggin Ice Center in Oxford. And we'll see what happens here in a 2-2 tie. 10:58 left in the third in game one of this series. Larkin the face-off to his right. Gilling will square off with McGing. So one back to the far corner of the Miami zone. Clement wraps it around behind the net to Dashke, who's up the near boards, caught by Bafia. He works it back to center ice. Kingston left it there. Dashke over the Bronco line, left wing, reaches the high slot. Far side pass, Green for Gilling near side. He ripped it away over the net. Gilling tried to get it back in the near circle. The pass picked up by Kingston. Gallant springs the rush the other way over the line right away. Gallant centering feed off the stick of Clement back to the near circle. And McGing the centering pass. Caught there by Green. He's trying to chip it off the boards past Bafia, and Bafia will swipe it behind his own net. Busey out of his net to play it to the near wing. Western back to center ice. Capstick grabs it left wing. Nice on the red line. Cuts to the middle. Pass over the line right wing. Here's Mahalik. Far circle offensive zone. A shot. Patted away there by Busey, and the puck deflects to the far corner. Mahalik behind the net. Graham to the left point for Capstick. Wrist shot behind the net. Here's Nyes for the RedHawks. In front for Loud, and the shot that time is covered up from right in front of the net by Busey. And to get a stoppage here with 9:52 to go in the third, as both teams trading offensive chances pretty equally here in this final frame. Shots are even at 22 as well. We're tied at 2 apiece between Miami and Western Michigan. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
What you gonna do now? Here we go now. Here we go now. Now what you gonna do now? Here we go now. Here we go now. Now what you gonna do now? Here we go now. Here we go now. Turn it up, girls, we can stop thinking.
.9:52 to go in the third period. Patrick Geshan back with you on Red Hawk Radio tonight. The face-off will come to the left of Brandon Busey. Monty Graham will take it against Austin Rushoff out of Wentzville, Missouri. And a face-off cleanly won by the RedHawks, but all the way back to center ice. Capsick will have to wrap it around the board to the far side. Played by Loud to the right point. Mahalik in front for Graham, who was cross-checked from behind, trying to play the rebound. Kucherek came in to just cross-check Monty Graham in the back, and he went down from behind, and it is not called. I don't think any referee saw it, and it knocked the net off too, as Graham was cross-checked basically right into the net, or maybe into Busey, who knocked the net off. So the face-off here will come to the left of Busey, and the maintenance crew will have to come out and drill a hole where the peg goes in to put the peg back in, and then the net on top of it. As Graham that time stationed right in front of the net, waiting for a rebound, and when it came, he was cross-checked from behind, unable to play the puck, and we got the stoppage. So here's Sladek in the far circle, played it to the middle of the ice after a Miami face-off win. It was broken up. Allison for Western Michigan over the line on the right wing, reaches the near circle. Allison near corner, the play in front of the net. It went past Larkin to the right point, where it's gloved back into the zone by Matthias Samuelson. Allison works it up the near boards from the corner. Leaves it there for DiPietro, top of the near circle. Samuelson down the near wing. Circles back for Western Michigan. The pass top of the line for a turn, and a rip went off the left post. An absolute bullet past Larkin. But the iron there to save him. Samuelson for DiPietro, springing a rush at center. He's over the line on the left wing. We'll play this one back behind the net where Russell grabs it for the RedHawks, and now Crowder in the far corner, back for Russell. Mark Russell with a puck here for the RedHawks. Far corner, played by Crowder, up the near wing. Savage to center, Courtnall picked off the centering feed, who's trying to spring Mose on a rush back the other way, and Courtnall reaches the red line to dump it into the far side. Crowder for Russell, the wrap around the near boards for Mose. Trying to come out of his own end with a puck. And Johnson that time trying to support him as Washi came in to pinch Mose against the boards. Ducks have to work it back behind their own net. Crowder around the far boards. Samuelson prevents Savage from playing the puck. He checked him along the boards. It's all the way back to the Western Michigan end, but a strong forecheck here for the RedHawks. Johnson steals away behind the net, trying to backhand wrap around, but couldn't quite work from the near side. Johnson near circle, still with the puck. He leaves it for Savage, left point, able to keep it in momentarily. Western works it right back out to center ice. Courtnall over the line on the right wing, cuts to the middle, defended that time by Crowder. And the puck squirts to the far corner where Gilling picks it up here for the RedHawks. Casey Gilling, the feedback for Russell to the far side. Crowder, near wing for Bachman. Over the line on the left side. Arch Bachman, the centering pass in front, went off his skate, back behind the net to the far corner, where Bafia will play it up the far boards. Passel for Warad, 2-on-1 developing the other way. He's got Frank with him. Warad top of the far circle, trying to shot. Dashke playing the body on him, and good gamble there to pitch forward. Able to prevent any type of opportunity that time. And a shot from the right point off the stick of Bafia is gloved down by Larkin with 7:16 to go in the third. Crowd really isn't into it at Goggin Ice Center tonight. And a close game between two old CCHA rivals now in the new NCHC. And hopefully they can kind of get some more energy back into it. Pretty good hockey game tonight. As McGing and Graham score off here to the left of Larkin. Shots are 23 apiece. And a 2-2 tie between Miami and Western Michigan. Clement to center ice. Nyes chips it over the line on the right wing to the far corner. Graham picks it up there and left it back behind the net for McGing. McGing picks it up along the near boards. Feeds Gallant over the line on the right wing. Gallant near circle. Fires a shot over the net. There was stuff going on behind the play. Dashke was cross-checked by Kingston in front of the Bronco net when the rush was happening, but the arms stay down. Rocks with a puck in the own net. Nice far circle, skates it out. He was hit hard that time and stripped to the puck by McGing, who works it and rims it all the way back around behind the Miami net. Larkin for Clement to the near side. Here's Capstick. In the near circle, will golf it back to center and all the way down the ice. Samuelson lazily chasing it down, and he'll get the icing call. As also going after the puck was Sladek, but he was pretty tired. And he'll come all the way down the ice to the left of Larkin. And Chris Bergeron has both the referees over talking to him in front of the Miami bench, asking for an explanation on what exactly happened during that last play. .6:26 to go here in the third. Rushoff in the drop for Western Michigan. It's Barry for the RedHawks. Couple third lines out there for each team. Puck wrapped around to the far board. Sladek grabs control for the RedHawks. Hits Nyes, who chips it back to center. Samuelson along the near side. Plays it over to Barry, left point, who swipes it in the zone, and the RedHawks are on the forecheck. Rushoff through the center circle. Leave it back for Samuelson. Top of the far circle, a rip over the net. Larkin had to duck that time to prevent his head from getting taken off. Samuelson far corner, leaves it for Rushoff. Capstick and him crash into the boards. This puck is picked up on the far side and worked back to the left point. Samuelson, a shot on the ice, was tipped by DiPietro right in front of the net, and it went straight up and out of play with 5:48 to go in the third. Rocks kind of lost DiPietro in coverage that time. He kind of was camping out in front of the net, and the puck came right to him, but off his stick and out of play. It went straight up and out. And the faceoff coming to the right of Larkin in the Miami zone as Warad will take it for Western, Gilling for Miami. It's one back, top of the far circle, pass old shot over the net, gets it back from behind the cage, and a little backhand of forehand there for a shot right on the right pad of Larkin, who makes the cover. As Basil, a nifty move using the long reach of his stick to scoop the puck from behind the Miami net, work it back to his forehand as he was standing on the right post, and able to shovel a shot right to Larkin. Face off to Larkin's left. It's been all Western Michigan the past few minutes. Bafia, the centering feed from the right point. Passol was locked up, couldn't catch it. It goes behind the Miami net. Crowder near side. Will work it up the near boards. Bachman chips it to center. Get past Bafia. Bachman over the line left wing. Reaches the circle and down the corner. And a centering pass there off the pad of Boozy, who deflects it back to the near side. Bachman with a puck to the left point for Russell. Far side Crowder, the rip, it's off of Boosty's blocker. Passol picks up the rebound and clears it back to center ice. Russell in his own end. Near circle. Far side feed for Crowder. Picked up by Green. Lost control at center ice. Bad turnover there. Over the line of the left wing comes Western Michigan. The centering pass by Lee went behind the net. Back to the far corner. McGing loses control to Gilling. Moves to the red line. The cross ice feed over to Green on the Bronco line left wing. Bachman in the offensive zone. Circles it back to the left point. Rims it around behind the net. Green near corner. Feeds it right point. Clement center line now. Plays it off a body on a shot deflected near the high slot. Graham up along the near boards. Far side feed. Here's Clement. Wraps it to the near side for Green. Near circle. Looking for the one-timer. He fanned on it and went behind the net. Dashke shovels it around the far corner. Bachman in front of the net. That time nobody was home in the centering pass. Loud far side. Dashke the rip. It was patted away to the far side by Boosie. Back to the far corner. Graham leaves it behind for Loud behind the Western Michigan net. And here comes Lee along the near corner. Nyes ran into Boosie that time trying to come in front of the net, and they're lucky they didn't call it. And it comes back to the Miami end as the defense were changing. Capstick to the near boards. Nyes working there with a tard. As it's tripped up along the boards near the Miami line. Western Michigan here works it back to center ice. Bouncing puck picked up at the red line though by the RedHawks, and they work it back in their own end. Here's Mahalik, plays it to center, tipped in by Nyes to Samuelson along the far wing, and he'll take it behind the safety of his own net for Western Michigan. 3.5 to go in the third period. We're tied at 2. Broncos up through center ice. Washy over the line on the right wing. Top of the near circle. The centering feed for Warat. Broken up by Capstick to get it back to the right point. Cornell, middle line for Samuelson. Plays it far corner behind the net. Washy was stripped to the puck by Capstick, who works it up the far wing. Back to center ice. Attard. Right wing. Will not be able to put it in the offensive zone. Mahalik over the middle of the line. A wrist shot in. Patted by Boosie to the far corner where Samuelson plays it behind the net. And Adder wraps it around the near boards where it's picked up by Frank. Frank springs Rushoff on a rush the other way. Over the Miami line right wing. Rushoff near circle. Behind the net, the centering feed for Frank, who was in front. Left it there for Corbett to pick up. And back the other way comes Miami. Barry hits the red line right wing to wrap it around the boards to the near wing in the corner. And DiPietro grabs it there. He'll skate it up the right wing through center into the offensive zone for Western Michigan. Although Mo's a good job angling him off the puck. Rushoff here up the near boards. And now he's locked up with Carter Johnson in a battle along the near corner. As Rushoff works it free and wraps it around to the left point. Kucherek keeps it in there. Wraps it near corner for DiPietro. Now it's Russell. Got the lob wedge out to play it back to the Western Michigan end. Gloved down by Kucherek. And we get a whistle here. It's a hand pass, I think. As Kucherek gloved down the puck and didn't drop it. Instead, he kind of made a motion to play it forward. And we'll get a face-off here. I don't know where when we come back from a timeout. 2:06 to go in period number 3. A 2-2 tie between Miami and Western Michigan. We're back with the final couple minutes after this. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio.
Turn it up, girls, we just up.
2:06 left in the third period. We're 4-on-4. Coming out of the timeout, a couple of penalties were called. Coming out of the break, they gave a slashing minor to Rourke Russell and an embellishment minor to Dawson DiPietro from Western Michigan. And so we're 4-on-4 coming out of the break. The puck was played to the near side, and cross-ice feed went into the Miami bench off a stick right after the center ice draw. So again, a slashing minor to Russell of Miami, and embellishment minor to DiPietro of Western Michigan. We're 4-on-4 for the next minute 53. There's 1:59 to go in the third period. Face off to the left of Larkin. Dashke behind his own net for the RedHawks after a Miami clean win. Feeds it to the near wing. Bachman over the line. On the left side for the RedHawks. Plays it to the near corner where Bafia grabs it for Lee. And then a centering feed in front from behind the net. Gilling trying to springboard Bachman, who went down. 3-on-2 the other way, Western. McGing to Warad over the line right away. Toe drag near circle and ripped it way wide left of the net. And Bachman picks up the puck and a rush up the right wing. He's in the far corner, but let go of the puck. Is good defense by Lee to stick check him away from the biscuit. Bafia is trying to spring Rushoff. Hit the pass at the Miami line right away, going off his stick back behind the net. Rushoff wins the race though. Centering feed to the left point for Samuelson. But he lost control there for Gordy Green. And Green through the center circle over the Bronco line on the left wing. Picks it up near circle. Gordy Green with a minute to go in regulation. Crowder right point. The wrist shot in front. It was loose, and Johnson with a rebound right in front of the net. Played it wide left. Back to center. Mahalik for Crowder. Circles back. Plays it in his own end for Green. Over the Bronco line, left wing. Green all alone. Flips it to the far side. Wraps it around the boards to the near wing. Here's Dashke coming in left point. Faked a slap shot in the circle. Takes it to the corner. Circles back with 30 seconds left. Dashke high slot for Clement. Wrister in. Wide of the net and high. Goes to the far corner. Graham the wrap around to the left point, but nobody was home. Clement was on the right side of the ice. And it's all the way back down to the Miami end with 17 seconds left in the third. Clement leads it back for Crowder. Behind his own net, 10 seconds to go for Barry. Just leaving the Miami zone. Barry through the center circle. Meets a right wing, Crowder over the line. For a centering feed off the stick of Samuelson. Deflects to the far corner. And the buzzer will sound here to end regulation as Miami and Western Michigan will skate to a 2-2 tie after 60 minutes. And we are going to overtime tonight from Oxford, which comes your way in just a moment. 2-2 tie, 5-on-5 overtime on your way next. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Overtime number one about to begin from Goggin Ice Center in Oxford. We're tied at 2 between Miami and Western Michigan. A Miami team coming into this game on a 5-game losing streak, and they hold the all-time series lead on Western Michigan 68-67-1. So the RedHawks are just one win ahead of Western Michigan for the lead in the all-time series. And Miami, with their last win coming January 10th at Colorado College, a 6-1 win in that Friday night game, looking to win for the first time in the month of February. It's been over a month since the RedHawks grabbed a win of any kind. They can do so with a goal here tonight. So again, a 5-minute 5-on-5 overtime, so we can settle the pairwise rankings before we hit the NCHC overtime protocol, and so we're underway with the center ice trot. Rex move left to right across your radio here in this overtime period. Western Michigan quickly into the offensive zone. Colon near circle. Let go of the puck as Dashke stripped him away, and back the other way comes Gilling. Up the right wing, over the Bronco line, hits the circle to the corner. And now Gilling behind the net, wraparound centering pass. One pass to everybody in front, lots of traffic, and nobody could get a stick on it. Clement near corner, backhand feed in front of the net. It was controlled here by Warad. It's off the boards back to center. Gallant chips it over the line to the left wing. Kingston near circle, the centering feed across, sticked away by Larkin. McGing to the far corner. Dashke behind the net, works it up the near wing, and here comes Casey Gilling. Slowly out of his own end, reaches the red line right wing to play it in behind the net. Bafia from his own end for Western. For DiPietro left wing, over the middle of the Miami line. DiPietro, little move on Russell, loses the puck to the far corner but gets it back. Now Rusha, far corner for Western Michigan. Passes it near circle, a drive by Lee over the outstretched glove of Larkin, but it goes over the net high and wide. Bafia chases the puck to his own end for Lee near side. It's Rusha at center over the Miami line to the left wing. Top of the near circle, a rip. Deflected weirdly off the glass behind the net as the shot was high. It went behind the Miami cage where Crowder picks up off the high glass near wing, back to center. Loud and Lee battle for the puck along the red line, right in front of the penalty box along the near side. DiPietro trying to springboard the puck forward, but Russell got it off the high glass, and now it's into the Miami offensive zone. Michael Choyo picks it up for Western Michigan. A centering pass forward. Played here by the Broncos over the line of the left wing. Lee in the high slot. It was sticked away to the near wing by Capstick. And in the corner, they worked for the puck here as it went there in the Miami defensive zone. Washi and Poland battling with Capstick. Capstick the win. Will wrap it around the far boards while Samuelson plays it to the far corner. Poland left it there. Here's Nyes. Centering pass deflected off a stick for Samuelson in his own end for Western Michigan. Up for Courtnall left wing at center ice, who lost control, and Poland now will take it back to his own end for the Broncos. Backhand feed up the near wing. Samuelson played it off the linesman in the zone. Lucky break for the RedHawks, and Sladek has a break to the net up the right wing. Sladek with a wrist shot. Fought off by the shoulder that time of Busey. And back to the near corner. Samuelson with Corbett. It's off the high glass back to center, off the Western stick. Clement will feed it over to Dashke, takes it back in his own end. There's Sladek right away, backhand shovel behind the boards for Busey. Behind the net rather, and Busey will wrap it back to center ice. Dashke, right wing for Clement at the red line, wraps it around to the far corner. Mose leaves it there for Johnson. It's wrapped around the boards to the right point. Savage will win the race to keep it in for a second, but Gallant's momentum carried the puck out, and the Rocks regroup at center ice to get it back behind the Western Michigan net. Dump and chase the game right now for Miami. Mose in the near corner. 1:47 left in the 5-on-5 first overtime. 2-2 our tie between Miami and Western Michigan. Puck locked against skates in the boards along the near side of the Miami offensive zone. Johnson behind the net for the RedHawks as it's work free. The centering pass for Mose, his shot to a body. And a rush the other way for Western. Kingston over the line to the left wing. Hits the breaks left point, wraps it around the boards to the far side. Took a weird bounce in front. What a save by Larkin as Western a point blank chance. He covers the puck to stop it with 1:23 to go in the first overtime. I think it was Warad who was in front of the Miami net as the puck was wrapped around the boards from the left point. It was wrapped around the glass. And there's seamless glass here at Miami, which means there's no stanchions, metal stanchions that pop out to keep the glass in place, except for on a door that's in the end zone of the Western Michigan offensive zone. The puck went off those stanchions and came right in front of the net, where Warad was waiting there and had it locked and loaded in front of Larkin, who made the sprawling save. It's great awareness by Larkin to know where the puck was. It all happened in a split second, and he keeps this game tied and still going. Lee in the near corner, backhand pass picked up by Bachman below the goal line in the offensive zone for Miami. Dashke left point to the far circle. Green controls of the forehand. Played it off the body, that time high in the zone of Bafia. And it's picked up at the line, back to the way comes Warad. DiPietro over the line to the right wing for Western Michigan. Hits the high slot, slap shot, deflects the near half wall with 50 left in the overtime. And it's thrown in front by DiPietro into the pads of Larkin, who squeezes it between his legs as it went almost 5-hole. And we'll stop the clock with 48.2 seconds left. And a 5-on-5 overtime, a 2-2 tie between Miami and Western Michigan. Never a bad play to just throw it on net, and DiPietro did that for the near half wall of the Western Michigan offensive zone. It went right in on Larkin, who was able to stop the puck, barely keeping it out of the net. They stop to his right, clean win for the Broncos. They get it to the right point. Adder plays it behind the net, it bounces along the cage and goes to the far corner off Miami sticks. Coming up the far board, circling back is Washi from the right point. Crowder rides him to the corner. Washi works it behind the net. Courtnall. Graham works it free from his skates. Back to the left point for Samuelson. Wrist shot in, deflected off his stick in front, right to the forehand of Monty Graham, who plays it back to center and a rush the other way. Russell, cross-ice feed for Lown, who tips it deep, and the Rocks will try to change, but Lown gets it back near corner, a drive to the net from the near side, backhand shot, patted away by Busey. Puck to the right point of the offensive zone. Crowder, a wrist shot, deflects over the net. The bouncing puck played by Adder to the far corner. Back to the left point. Russell, a little wrist shot that took a bounce off the stick of Grant to the near corner. And that will end the festivities here in the 5-on-5. First overtime as Western Michigan cleared it back to center ice. Pretty frenzied 5 minutes of play that time. Probably the most energetic both teams have been all night long in a 2-2 tie between Miami and Western Michigan. So now, both teams get a point in the NCHC standings. So our next order of business is the NCHC mandated 3-on-3 overtime for 5 minutes. And so both teams will record this game as a tie for NCAA pairwise purposes. And so now you're just fighting for 2 extra NCHC points. And the next goal will get that here in our 3-on-3 overtime coming up in about 15 seconds or so from Oxford. And a 2-2 tie between Miami and Western Michigan. RedHawks lead the shots right now, 30-28. As the teams will return back to the ice here with the little intermission between the 5-on-5 overtime and the 3-on-3 overtime. Last time the RedHawks won in 3-on-3 overtime, you have to go back to November 22nd of 2019. This season they were at Omaha. It was a 3-3 game. Ryan Savage scored the game-winning goal in 3-on-3 overtime to give Miami the win in that one. So it's been since November that Miami's won a 3-on-3 overtime game, and I don't know if they've been in 3-on-3 games since then. But the Rocks sent Gillen, Green, and Dashke out there. Western Michigan has McGing, Kingston, and Lee. Behind the Miami net, Dashke takes the puck after the center ice draw. Again, it's all about possession in 3-on-3 overtime. Green up the right wing into the offensive zone, far circle, wraps it behind the Bronco net, center pass in front, they score! Casey Gilling was waiting right in front of the Western Michigan cage. Got a pass for the near side by Green and stuffed it 5-hole on Busey. And Miami wins in the 3-on-3 overtime, just 19 seconds in. They'll collect a 3-2 win over the Western Michigan Broncos on this Friday night in Oxford. It'll be Casey Gilling's 8th goal of the year. That's 3rd on the team. And the junior out of Gaylord, Michigan, got the assist from the NCHC active leader in points. It'll be Gordy Green's 107th point of the season. He'll get the primary assist on the game-winning goal by Casey Gilling. So the teams will shake hands at center ice as the RedHawks will grab 2 extra points in the NCHC standings with that goal. And the tie in the pairwise rankings officially is what this game will go down as. But the RedHawks not only get the points in the NCHC, but you also carry plenty of momentum into tomorrow night's game against Western Michigan, and the RedHawks will snap their 5-game losing streak tonight on their home ice against the Broncos, and the pretty hot Broncos of Western Michigan, winners of 3 of their past 4 coming into the game. So it should be a pretty good one tomorrow night again, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Our coverage begins here from Oxford for Game 2 of this series between the Broncos and RedHawks on the ice. But don't forget to join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time from Millette Hall as the Miami women's basketball team takes on the Ohio Bobcats, followed by the Miami men's basketball team taking on the Northern Illinois Huskies. Again, that basketball doubleheader on your way tomorrow here on Red Hawk Radio, and then we'll ship it over to Goggin for Game 2 of this hockey series between Miami and Western Michigan. 3-2, the RedHawks win in double overtime tonight. Our entire Red Hawk Radio crew, this is Patrick Geshan saying so long and good night from Oxford, Ohio. Miami winners in the 3-on-3 overtime. They get the extra point in the NCHC standings. So long and good night, everybody, from Oxford, Ohio. This has been a presentation of Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Thanks for listening, and have a great night.